Okay, in our last example, we looked at how conditionals would work with a button to control an LED. This time we're going to look at having more than one if-else statement strung together, and we're going to look at that using our potentiometer to control our LED. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the serial monitor, serial print LN, and I'm going to analog read what's happening on that dial, because that will make it a lot easier for me to see if things are all working correctly. So I'm going to make sure that that is working right. I'm reading 0 right now, and as we go up, our numbers go up. Okay, great. So the first thing I'm going to do is have an if statement. The structure of these are just the same as we looked at a moment ago. Whatever I'm checking is going to go in the parentheses. Then I'll have an open bracket, the commands I want to happen, and a close bracket. So the thing I'm going to check is I'm going to analog read the dial. And if I get back a number that is, say, less than 100, I am going to turn my LED off. So I'm going to analog write the LED to 0. I know I can use analog write because my LED is plugged into pin 5, which has that little tilde in front of it, meaning it is a pulse width modulation pin, so it can take an analog signal like I'm writing right here. Okay, so if my dial is reading less than 100, the LED is going to be off. I would try this out, but it just is going to look like it's off all the time. So we need something else to go with it. So I'm going to add an else if whatever I check is going to go in the parentheses right there, and then I'll have some commands in here. So what this looks like, it says if this first thing is true, do whatever is right here. Else if, so here I've said this was not true, so I'm not less than 100, so I need something else to check. So I'm going to read that dial again, and if it's not less than 100, but maybe is less than 500, I'm going to turn my LED partway on. Maybe 130. There we go. So now this says, okay, I'm going to read my dial. If it's less than 100, I'm going to turn the LED off. If it's not less than 100, but it is less than 500, I'll turn the LED halfway on. So let's try that out. Hit start simulation. You can see my values are 0 right now. My LED is off. So I'm going to start going up. Okay, so now here I have a 205 right now, so it is not less than 100, but it is less than 500, and so my LED is partway on. I'm going to add a little bit more to this chain. I'm going to add an else, and else, like we saw in the last one, doesn't need anything to check. It's like I checked this and it is not true. And then I checked this and it is also not true. So anything that's left is going to go in this else. And here I'm going to analog write that LED pin to 255, which is the maximum. Okay, we're going to try this again. So I'm going to turn this all the way down. So I have a 0. So that is less than 100, and so my LED is off. If I turn this up a little bit, there I'm at 307. So is 307 less than 100? No. Is 307 less than 500? Yes. So I turn the LED to 130. If I turn the dial up a little higher, okay, 900. So we can kind of go back to the top and check. Is 900 less than 100? No. Is 900 less than 500? No. Okay, so both of those were not true. So the only option left is to turn the LED all the way on. There we go. That is exactly how a kind of chained conditional statement works. And if else if, else. You can also have as many of these in between else ifs as you need. So let's add another one. We'll analog read the dial, and maybe we'll check if it's less than 850. Sure. And if it is, what do we want to have happen? I'm going to analog write the LED to a little bit higher, but not all the way on. And we'll try this. So now I've got my potentiometer all the way down at 0. There's that first area between 1 and 500. Here is between 500 and 850, and you can see it got a little bit brighter, and we go up past that 850 and it's all the way on. So we can set however many intervals we think we need just by chaining those if, else if statements together.